All right, welcome everybody to the 2011 Discover Orange Bowl. We'd like to welcome our title sponsor, of course, Discover. A couple announcements very quickly before we get started. The hospitality room is open nightly, starting at 6 p.m. in suite 1155. Tomorrow on New Year's Day, it'll be open all day for you all to come watch the bowl games if you so choose. Tonight, we recommend the city of Fort Lauderdale for their Orange Bowl countdown in downtown Fort Lauderdale. We highly recommend taking a cab over there. It's just a few minutes away. And there's a media party on Sunday, January 2nd. At 7:30 in the Ocean Ballroom right here in this hotel. I do want to recognize the Orange Bowl committee members that are here. Sarah Harold is over here at the side of the room. Tim Battle, Mark Doucette is around, Tim Bailey, Vicki Matthews, and C.L. Conroy. So thank you all for being part of the Orange Bowl committee and this event. Stanford and Virginia Tech practices are both closed today. They will both have media availability on January 1st, Virginia Tech pre-practice and Stanford post-practice, that being tomorrow. And the one event we want to mention to you to make sure you're aware of for today, the Orange Bowl Field at Moore Park ribbon cutting ceremony is at 2 p.m. Sunday, January 2nd. Sunday, January 2nd. The Orange Bowl Committee in the City of Miami, along with ACC Commissioner John Swofford and Pac-10 Commissioner Larry Scott, will celebrate the Orange Bowl Committee's legacy gift to Moore Park, site of the 1934 and 35 Palm Festivals, the forerunner to the Orange Bowl. So if you all are interested in that, get more information in the media credential room around the corner. So with that, we are going to have the student-athletes interview room open behind the wall, straight in front of me, behind you all. I will let you know when that is open. But for now, we will open it up to questions up here at the podium. We have a microphone rolling around the room somewhere. Or Larry, do we have someone to run the microphones? Yeah, okay. If you can flag down them to ask your question, that would be great. So we will open up with Stanford assistant head coach Greg Roman and quarterback Andrew Luck. Coach, if you want to start just by talking about the couple days you've been here and what sort of preparation has been going on for the Discover Orange Bowl.
Sure. First off, I'd like to thank the Orange Bowl host committee for just the amazing hospitality that's been shown to us. We got here the 27th and really want to take that first night to acclimate. Once we hit the ground the next morning, we really try to get back into football mode. I think our preparations are moving forward right on schedule. The guys are really locked in. Watching all the film of Virginia Tech, it's easy to see why we need to be locked in. Very good team, very well coached. They play tough, and it's pretty obvious why they've won 11 straight games.
And then, Andrew, you've been in Miami for a few days in South Florida. What have you had a chance to do, and what are you looking forward to doing while you're here?
I haven't had a chance to do much. We've been locked in on practicing and watching film. We know it's, the trip will be for no avail if we don't win, but did get a chance to walk around South Beach. It was a blast. They had a little beach party for us outside the hotel yesterday, which was a lot of fun for the guys, and got to go to the movies as well. And it's a great place. It's certainly a diverse, multicultural city, and we're just happy to be here.
All right, very good. And we'll now open up to questions from you all. So if you can just flag down the microphone. We'll start right here on the inside aisle. Heather.
Heather Dinich with ESPN.com. For both of you, if you could just address the creativity that you guys have used with the offense. I haven't seen much of you guys. I did watch the Wake Forest game, but just in terms of, I've heard you guys like switch jersey numbers and just some different kinds of things that you guys have done to keep people on their toes.
Want to go first, Andrew? Well, we really encourage our young players, and we let them know early that if you can do something to help the team, you're going to play in some capacity. So there are some games where 25 guys play, at least 2 to 3 plays. We really feel that that's important just to get as many people involved as possible. I really think it builds upon itself and makes everybody really that much more excited to prepare for a game. So I want to say 27 guys played with the first team in some form of personnel capacity during one game this year. So we're always going to try to be multiple in that regard, and these guys it's been a really fun model to build with these guys because they're really sharp, and you can be a little bit more creative.
It's always interesting coming into the Monday meeting and getting the install for this week or for the weeks during the season to see what the coaches have come up for us for whatever game plan it is, and the coaches do a great job of mixing things up and putting us in a good position to succeed, and we'd buy into their philosophy and try and go and execute to our advantage.
Sure.
Does it make it more difficult for you to prepare, and is it more fun?
It is a little more fun, when it breaks the monotony, I guess, of running the same plays over and over again. But it may be a little more difficult to memorize things, but we know it's well worth it, and it'll help us out in the end.
If I could, it's a credit to our players to be able to learn, absorb, and apply all that game plan material. How many plays do we have on our wristband?
I don't know, 300.
350 or so. And these guys do a great job, and it's really a credit to their preparation.
How big are your wrists? All right, let's go all the way in the right in the back. Oh, I'm sorry, we're here on the, I'm sorry, all the way in the back on the aisle.
Greg, Andrew gets a lot of credit for this offense, but your rushing attack is very good as well. Talk to us about how important that rushing attack is and why they're so successful.
Well, we're gonna be physical, and we're gonna run the football in some capacity. Our philosophy is that it takes all 11 to rush the football effectively, and that includes the quarterback. He's an integral part of it, and he has really done a good job of managing our running game. But our wide receivers do a great job blocking, our tight ends, our offensive line, our backs. We're going to do whatever we have to do to be effective running the football, and but it definitely, one of our themes is it takes all 11. So all 11 guys on the offense are very involved in the running game, probably more so than other teams. And I'm not going to get into specifics, but the man sitting to my right is he handles a lot of that burden.
Now we'll go in the back all the way to the right.
Andrew, Coach Harbaugh talked a couple weeks ago, last week or something like that, during your recruiting process, it reached a point where you basically told him he didn't need to call you anymore or bother you or whatever, that you were going to come to Stanford anyway. What was it about him that made such a positive impression on you so early in the process that you had made a decision to come to a school as a highly regarded recruit that really wasn't proven? Why did you click with him or whatever?
I think a couple reasons. One, he wanted to win, and you could tell. It didn't matter where he was coaching; he was going to be a winner. And I felt like Stanford was going on the right direction under him. As a former NFL quarterback, I thought I could learn a lot from him. He'd been in pretty much every situation he can be in. He's had the experience. I thought it really helped me out in my career, and he was a good guy. He was enthusiastic. I enjoyed being around him.
And Greg, after seeing Owen Marisic do what he's done this year, I guess, how would you go about it, kind of answering the question that everybody wonders about him, like how does this guy do that?
That's a great question. When we started first talking about doing that with Owen, it's very simply, like, he's one of the very few people that you could even have that discussion about. And he's a very unique person, very team-oriented, very much very obsessive and thorough about all his preparation from a football standpoint as well as a physical preparation standpoint. He'll do whatever he has to do to help the team in any way he can. And his ability to absorb information is pretty darn good too, because there's a lot of it to absorb on both sides of the ball. We don't just line up in one formation and run a couple plays. It's remarkable. It really is. But that's Owen. I don't think any of us are surprised he's done it.
All right, we'll go here on the left on the inside aisle.
For each of you, what is the West Coast perception of Bud Foster and his Virginia Tech defense, having done so well nationally for so many years? They're a little off this year with some injuries and some younger players playing, but how is his system and overall results perceived on the West Coast?
Well, I think as a player, watching his team, they're tough, they're physical, they're disciplined. It's quite possibly the best defense we'll face all year. So, and I mean, I haven't been around football for too long, I guess, not like Coach Roman, but from my short history, growing up and watching Virginia Tech, you always knew they were going to be a tough football team that flew around to the football. So we know we definitely have our hands full, and I think it's a great reputation, anywhere in the United States.
Yeah, I don't think their reputation is geographically limited. I remember when I was coaching in the NFL and I was evaluating an offensive player, if I had a chance to watch them against Virginia Tech, I made sure I did, because I could see them on the offensive line. I could see them have to deal with quickness, toughness, relentlessness. As a tight end, I could see them having to deal with guys trying to beat them up at the line of scrimmage and match up with them in coverage. As a quarterback, I could see them evaluate them against all the different coverage looks they need to see, the variety that they'll see, which is somewhat NFL-like. And as a wide receiver, you could see them against defensive backs that are going to come try to lay you out. So, I think their reputation is long and well-deserved, and it travels everywhere. And watching them on film, it's obvious why. You better pack your A game when you play Virginia Tech.
And Andrew, what's the toughest class you've taken, and how did you do in it?
Toughest class. I think engineering 14, it was statics. I got a B, thankfully. It was sort of a grinded out class.
All right, I'm going to go right here on this side, and then we'll make our way over.
Andrew, I'm not sure if this is even taboo to bring up, but what has it been like since the end of the regular season to be able to focus both on this game and your future? Is it a difficult task to do that?
I don't think it's too difficult. I've tried not to think about my future after this football game. I don't want it to get in the way of the team, of our chances in the Orange Bowl. I think if I start thinking about it too much, it'll be a detriment, and my head will be in the wrong place before the game. So it hasn't been too difficult. I'm just excited to be in the Orange Bowl and try not to let anything get in the way of it.
A lot of people wondering about both you and Coach Harbaugh. Do you guys talk about it? Do you joke about it, or is it just a silent thing with you?
Not really. I don't feel like it's a forbidden place to go to in speaking, but we just don't really talk about it. I think we both have our sights set on the Orange Bowl, and that's about it right now.
Do you have a question?
Good morning. Greg, can you talk, getting back to the Virginia Tech defense, who are the players in that defense that impress you the most?
Well, I'd say their secondary as a whole is extremely talented in the sense that they have very, very good instincts and very good ball skills. And I think, Andrew, you'd probably agree that you can't just throw lollipops up there against the secondary, because they've shown that they're going to come down with it. And really their front seven or front eight, depending on how you look at it, are very, 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 very disciplined, very, very much where they need to be when they need to be there. But the thing that stood out to me on top of their physical style is they're always going to have 11 sets of eyes on the ball every single play. And when the ball gets where it's supposed to get, there's going to be a whole lot of bodies. So they're always watching the ball, always rallying to the ball, and they play very, very well as a unit. But their secondary has really stood out with their ability to finish plays on the ball, intercept the ball. I believe they got 22 interceptions. They've been very, very good in the red zone. I believe 40 times teams have been down there, and 10 times they've come away with no points. So they're a great team defense, and you got to be careful of that secondary because of their skills, ball skills.
And another question for you, Greg. Pardon me. Coach Harbaugh has tried to explain how exactly your play calling works, and I mean we've assumed all along that he has the final say on the play calling. But you're the assistant head coach for the offense. You've got David Shaw as the offensive coordinator. How does the play calling actually work? Do you all three of you huddle before every play, or how I mean? We
don't have time to have a board meeting, so I'd say that we function as a team. And we're always going to make the best decision for the team to put these guys, our players, in the best possible position. A lot of our work's done ahead of time, but we like to keep that a mystery.
Now we're going to stay over here on the left.
This is principally for Andrew, but Greg can jump in too. You know, there's talk that with the way the system is set up now, that the other BCS games other than the national championship game have lost some punch. I'm trying to get a sense for what's at stake here for you guys in this game. You know, what are you guys trying to prove in this game? You know, you're not natural rivals with this team, never played them. So in your mind, what is really at stake here in this game?
As a player, I think everything's at stake. I don't feel like any punch is lost. Not playing in the national championship, obviously that's the goal for every team, but to get to play in an Orange Bowl, a historic, prestigious bowl, I think, you know, all of us, or I speak for the team, all of us, I think, are very, very excited. A lot of guys grew up East Coast, South, out at Stanford, you know, sort of national team, or not national, but a lot of guys from different parts of the country. So I know guys grew up watching Virginia Tech. A lot of guys' favorite team growing up was Virginia Tech. So we know we definitely have a lot at stake, and you know, we'd hate to lose, and we know the season would be a success if we did.